Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Sandra's World. And it's been a really unusual day here today. Things have gone wrong for me, and I'm sure things have gone wrong for you. And of course, here in the UK, we have lost a key member of the royal family, the Duke of Edinburgh, who sadly died today at the age of 99. So he never got to 100, but he lived a really rich and fulfilling life. So I want to give my condolences to all of the royal family while I can here live on HAPS TV. Also, don't forget, if you want to get involved in HAPS TV, please download the app from the App Store and, come in on the platform and encourage other people to get involved and to join the HAPS family, along with a lot of very interesting people that are already on here. So today, I wanted to talk about something that's really very important to me and my life, and I hope it's really important to you. And that is your mental and physical health. And as a psychotherapist, I help people all the time with their mental health, and very often the relationship between their mental health has a real impact on their physical health. And when they realize the impact that their mental health has on their physical health, for example, if they've been suffering from anxiety for a number of years, they don't really understand that they could be dealing with a lot of other issues because of the anxiety. There are a number of medical issues that mimic the symptoms of anxiety. And it's really important for your physical, long-term physical health that you end your battles with your mental health. So I talk about mental and physical health, and that equals wealthiness. Now, I don't actually think there is a word wealthiness. I believe I made that up. I did check in the dictionary today, and I don't think it is there. There's wealthy and healthiness, but not wealthiness. And of course, there's happiness as well. So when I say wealthiness, that doesn't always mean that it's about money. It means about the wealth of your life. So whatever form that takes. And it's really important that you make sure that you live the life that you want to live and not the life that somebody planned out for you. Most of the people that I help in my psychotherapy practice have had that sort of experience where, unfortunately, due to early life experiences, childhood experiences, they live the life that they think they should live. And very often that life is a very unhappy one. And that leads to a lot of physical issues as well as mental issues. You don't always recognize these initial sort of like issues that you've got for a long time. And normally what happens at some point in your life, if you haven't dealt with them in your earlier life, you get to a point in your adult life where you just don't understand why things are not going the way you want them to go. And that's when you tend to think that I need help. And that's when people come to me. Now, today I was really doing a lot of not this. I was doing a lot of this, tearing my hair out. Yes, tearing my hair out because I couldn't basically do the things I wanted to do. And I got sort of a little bit frustrated, so to speak. But I always remember that when I do feel this frustration, I always know that I have to sort of like get back to what I call balance, or what you call homeostasis, rest and digest. And the way to do that is to control your breathing. So very often when we are in a state of panic, or there is issues around our lives that are challenging, and they happen very often to most of us every day, but it's just about how do you get back to that level of normal, whatever that normal might be. So how do you bring yourself down? How do you get yourself back into that state of rest and digest, homeostasis, balance in both the body and the mind? And the one thing you do is, as I say, is breathing. Another thing, if you do suffer from anxiety, and the anxiety becomes heightened, and it goes into a panic attack, or towards a panic attack, there are numerous things that you can do. One of the things that you can do, which is very effective, is called the jaw drop. Now, the jaw drop is about dropping the jaw from the mandibles, which are just underneath the earlobes, and really just opening your mouth and sort of like going like that. And what happens is, when you go like that, that cuts off the fear at the base of the brain. And of course, you'll sort of think something happens within the body. For example, the vagus nerve gets involved, and it sends that feeling of wellness down into all the major organs in the body. So, and that's what the breathing does as well. So when you breathe, when you're faced with this at some point of the day, and you are feeling slightly in panic or overwhelmed, or you're catastrophizing about something, the easiest thing to do is to just control the breathing. And the breathing, once you control the breathing, you can then get back to some form of normal, whatever that normal might be. So there's normal things you can do. One of the things that you can do to get this mental and physical health in balance is, as I say, is to control the breathing. Now, one of the key things to controlling your breathing is breathing using the stomach and not the chest. The only time you have to really focus your breathing in the chest area is when you are engaging in physical exercise, or when you need to basically get a lot of hormones in the body to a certain level so that you can run away from danger. So in order to keep this mental and physical health and leading to wealthiness, you have to breathe with the stomach. So as you breathe in, you need to push your stomach muscles out. And as you breathe out, you need to let your stomach muscles relax. So you breathe in, push your stomach muscles out, and breathe out, and just relax. And the more you do that, the more you will find that you will get this balance of mental and physical wellness. And you should adopt this way of breathing. This should be your normal way of breathing at all times, as I say, unless you're exerting yourself through physical exercise or you have to escape from somewhere because your life is in danger or there's some sort of real fear. So I just want you to really concentrate on that and get that level of breathing and get engaged with that breathing. And it's really important. Hello, Abab. So you know, when you do have that level of breathing, you very quickly find relaxation. Another thing that I was trying to do today, but I was tearing my hair out, was I was trying to play some music on HAPS TV, and I have got copyright permission to play this music, and it's binaural beats. Now, binaural beats is very good for relaxation. So I was tearing my hair out away to be able to play this music, but unfortunately I can't, but I will do at some point. So I don't know whether anyone is on with me. I've got 3 on line, it seems. If those 8 people online, if they come on, download the HAPS app and get involved in this on this platform, you can get 100 coins and you can start your HAPS broadcasting journey. And everyone's got something that they are either an expert in or something that they know that other people don't know. So also, when you think about your mental health and wellness, it's all about the things that you do. As I say, the breathing using the stomach is really important. There's also another exercise that you can do, and this is an exercise that they use in the military. It's called the square or the box breathing. Now, the square or the box breathing is used in the military because it basically is when soldiers go into battle, the only thing really that they have any control over is their breathing. So they learn this way of breathing in order to be able to do what they need to do. So when you, in the normal life, practice this box or square breathing, it's a good thing for cutting out the anxiety and the fear, because it allows your brain to be engaged in something because you're concentrating on something other than the anxiety and the panic attack that is maybe coming. So how you do that is it's 4, 4, 4, and 4. So you breathe in for the count of 4. You hold the breath at the top for the count of 4. You breathe out for the count of 4, and you wait for the count of 4. So you breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you start the process again. So you breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you've done that, however many times that you need to do it, you will find that the anxiety has lessened, the panic has lessened, and very quickly your body will go back into homeostasis, rest and digest, which is really important to keep the mental and physical health balanced. You can also do that breathing using different counting, but always remember that you need to use your stomach and use your stomach. So make sure when you breathe in, your stomach comes out, and when you wait, just hold your stomach. And when you breathe out, let the stomach go. And when you're at the bottom of the breath, when you're waiting, do the same thing again. And that will really level out the fear that you are feeling, because anxiety is just a fear of something. So if you are suffering from anxiety and the fear is based around, say, having to do something that is bringing that uneasiness about, I don't know what that might be. I mean, at work, for example, you might have to go and have a difficult conversation with your boss, or he might have called you in for you to talk to you. So just whatever it is, do the breathing and then go and do whatever you need to do. But try and maintain the breathing all the way through whatever it is in your head. The more you practice this way of breathing, the more you will get used to it, and it will become your preferred way of breathing. Because especially if you're the type of person who is always panicking like this, if this is your brain, I think the internet connection is a little bit ropey here, but if this is your brain and all you're doing continually all the time is panicking, when you start to breathe and control your breathing, your brain will start to calm down, and the catastrophizing will lessen, and the fear will lessen. So what's happening whenever you're worrying about something, your brain is just going like this. All of the brain, all of the neural pathways are engaging, and you've got all sorts of things going on. And unfortunately, when you're suffering from anxiety, you very often don't recognize the things that are really important. You just concentrate on the emotion, on the fear, and on the emotion, and the amygdala, the brain, which is the seat of fight, flight, and freeze. You forget about your logic, the part of the brain that is where you are that person who is in a position where you're doing something and you're engaged in it, you're fully engaged in it. And when you're fully engaged in something, you don't have time to feel anxious. It's only when you stop being engaged that the anxiety might creep back in. So anything you can do to allow that fear to become less. So the more you stop concentrating on it, what happens is when we're suffering from anxiety, we are catastrophizing about a number. It's what they call generalized anxiety disorder. So it's, you are thinking about so many different things at the same time that you keep looking for the worst in everything. And very often there's not a lot of anything really that's there. It's only what you're fearing is there. And so anything you can do to stop that fear becoming your reality is the way to end your battles with anxiety. I just also, there's many, as I said, there's many different ways to manage your anxiety. And what you have to realize is that no matter what is going on in your life that makes you feel anxious, it's still going to be there. It's still there. But what you have to do is you have to take yourself away from it. So if you can imagine that you are in the eye of a storm, because the eye of the storm or tornado or anything like that is always quiet. It's always calm. It's always empty. It's always empty. So if you can find that emptiness within yourself and find some peace, the storm will still rage around. The storm will still be there. There's nothing you can do about the storm because that's nature. So if you can imagine that your storm is all of the things that are coming from your environment that are difficult for you to deal with, and they're always going to come. It's going to come. You can't stop it coming. You don't have control over that, but you do have control over how you view it or how you deal with it. So it's almost like taking yourself down into the deepest part of your reptilian complex, the oldest part of your brain, the brain that is that baby brain. And if you could just take yourself down into that very part of you that was there before all of the other stuff was there, and you can sort of like find some peace within you down there, you can then sort of like look at things logically. So when you close your eyes and you just imagine yourself dropping like in a lift, just see, the thing with people with anxiety, they've got a very good imagination, because anxiety chose you. You didn't choose it. You know, it chose you for a reason. So it knows that you've got this ability to end it. Otherwise it wouldn't have come, because it's come to give you a bit of a warning that something is not right. So if you can just find that rest, if you can find that peace within you, and however you find that peace is up to you. You mean you can listen to music, you could do exercise, you can go for a walk, you can do just sitting and just dropping down, right, just down into the deepest part of you, that part of you that is truly who you are, without all of the rubbish that's around you that other people have brought into the map of your life. You didn't choose it. Your map is the way that your life has started and the way your life has gone. It's your life, it's your timeline. You didn't have a choice that you were going to be that person who was likely to be anxious at some point. That's come from your history. That's come from your experiences. That's come from probably your parents or your parents' parents, or your parents' lack of ability to guide you and to support you in your development when you've been feeling different, or you've been bullied at school, or you've had you've been in a classroom with a teacher who used to be very nasty to you and disregarded you. That is not your fault. It's you just have to just find that place within you. Forget your timeline. We know that's there. You can almost, like, a very easy thing to do with that is to take yourself back down into that timeline and look upon what's gone on from above. When you look on what's gone on from above, it's almost like there's another story going on, and it's the story that you didn't see. You didn't see the fact that that person who bullied you or who was horrible to you was dealing with something else. Maybe that day their parents beat them up, for example, or their parents were dealing with alcohol or drugs or something like that. And so that person wanted a vessel to use to make them feel better. So whatever's happened, there's always a story behind it. So when you look down on your timeline and you can see what's actually going on, you'll find that the energy that's attached to your experiences has changed. And the trouble is, you're never really taught about, we're not taught about this sort of stuff. And you have to be taught about it from someone like me, who has studied this sort of stuff and done training and looked at psychology and done the things that I've done in order for me to explain to you that the energy that's attached to your negative experiences is only as strong as you make it. So if you could imagine taking something and taking the energy away from it, whatever that energy is, so almost like you can think about something, and you can imagine, or you could write it down. You could write it down and put it away somewhere. This is something that that is a really simple thing to do. So you can write down something that you're feeling. I'm feeling depressed. I feel anxious about what's going to happen today, and you can put it away in a drawer somewhere and think to yourself, right, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to go on my day and I'm just going to see how it goes. And I can guarantee you that your life, that day will not be as bad as you thought it was going to be, because it's all a perception. And when you go back and you go to have a look at what you wrote down, say at 8 o'clock in the morning, what you wrote down at 8 o'clock in the morning will not be as important as it was at 8 o'clock at night. I would try that really simple thing. The same as just going down to the base of your reptilian brain. The base of the reptilian brain is where you really are, the real you who knows who they are. And unfortunately, what happens is, with anxiety, the real you gets lost. The person who you want to be gets lost in all of the catastrophizing and the fears and the thoughts and the what ifs, and I'm not good enough, and I didn't do that right, and I can't do this, and I can't do that, and he doesn't like me, and she doesn't like me, and he doesn't love me, and he doesn't love me. And it's all very often not true. It's definitely, it's not true. It's just your perception of what you see from your environment. You can't change the environment. You can't change what's happening outside of you, but you can change how you deal with it inside of you, how you take it in, how the message comes to you. Very often, when we're suffering from anxiety, the message we receive when a person says to you, "Oh, it's only anxiety, get over yourself," they say that and they give you that message, and you think that, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. It's not that they don't know what they're talking about, it's that they've never experienced it. Because if they'd experienced it, they wouldn't say, oh, just get over yourself, it's only anxiety. If they really understood what anxiety does to you, the person who is dealing with it, they wouldn't say, just get over yourself, it's only anxiety. You have to experience it, you have to understand it in order to be able to end it. And people who are saying, oh, get over yourself, it's only anxiety, it's nothing, you want to move them from your life. You want, if they're near to you, you need to say to them, look, I'm not, you need to educate them. But if they're just people who you don't feel anything for, they're just people and they've said something, then you just have to ignore them and find other people in your life to support you. It's not about facilitating the anxiety, it's about you finding ways to end it. You know, people say, I've had anxiety for 20 years. And I say, why have you had anxiety for 20 years? What are you doing to yourself? Why have you allowed it to happen? Why have you allowed it to take hold of you? It's it's not that strong. It's strong because you allow it to be, and the strength comes from your belief in it. So when your belief in it is waning, is changing, when you're using some of the things that I've taught you today to end those battles, the anxiety will be a lot weaker. Eventually it will just disappear. And you'll be able to start to live the life you really want to live. So I've got 22 people and 1 thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. That's really gratifying. You need to have, when you come on here and you put yourself out there, and you are trying to educate people, it's really important that they engage with you, because it's about lifting your self-esteem. Also anxiety, when you lift your self-esteem, anxiety doesn't exist. When you feel good about yourself, when you've got this level of belief in yourself, you don't suffer from anxiety. It's only when you let this it's almost like you just let this negativity sweep over you. That's when the anxiety comes in. But when you're standing tall, when you've got your shoulders back, when you're like a superhero, when you're talking like I'm talking to you, when you're thinking logically with your prefrontal cortex, the logic side of the brain, the cerebellum, the anxiety doesn't have a chance. It really doesn't have a chance. So the more you find to do to disengage with it, the quicker you will find that the anxiety will become a thing of your past. I don't know if there's any questions. I don't think I've got anyone on with me. It would be great if more people would subscribe, because when you subscribe and I think if I could get 500 views, my broadcast would get higher up in the hierarchy. Of course, there are a lot of people who have been on HAPS TV for a while, and they've migrated from Periscope, so they've brought with them a massive following. So people like me who haven't got a massive following yet really need to build up those subscribers in order to get some sort of recognition. So I'm not on here to make money. I'm on here to educate people and to let people know that they are not alone when they are dealing with anxiety. And there are many people like me who are out there willing to help you, help anybody with these struggles. So when another passion of mine is social media engagement and helping small business startups with software training and content, because I always think that when you are finished with the battles with anxiety, you want to then move on and get that life that you really want to live. And anxiety and this negativity stops you doing what you want to do. So I always say that the more that you can do to get yourself back into that life that you really want to live, and to find something to engage you, the better it is, and the quicker the anxiety, as I say, the anxiety will be a thing of the past. So one of the things that I do to keep my mental health in good condition is I always engage myself in learning things. So everything I do myself, because I want to learn, because it keeps my brain active and it keeps the anxiety that I've experienced. I'm not coming from a place of not understanding anxiety. I've suffered from anxiety from an early age, and so I know what it's like. But I do know that the more you engage in things that are creative, the better you are off. And of course, you can then sort of like do what you really want to do without fearing it. Because very often when we want to start off a small business, we fear it, we're scared. We fear both success and failure in equal measure. We don't look upon fear as just a challenge. So when you fear something, you need to look upon it as not a fear, but a challenge. So challenge yourself every day to do something different, to learn one new thing, whatever that is. Write a book, or start a business, or write a blog, or don't know, get into website design like I do, buy software, buy license rights, buy white label rights, do TikTok videos, do Instagram videos, do anything really to just find that something that's exciting in your life, because you only live one life, and you owe it to yourself to stop being anxious and to get that life, live the life that you really want to live, anxiety free, and do the things you want to do anxiety free, and talk to people, and come on social media, come on Haps TV with me and let's talk. You can have, I think you can have 6 people on this app at one time. So you could have sort of like a live broadcast with people on here, and you could be asking me questions, or other people could be asking you questions. It's just about engaging. And as I say, this is Sandra's world, and I'm talking today about mental and physical health that leads to wealthiness. And that wealthiness is not about money, although it is nice to have financial security. It's also about the wealthiness of the brain. So how wealthy are you in your body, in your mind? Are you able to think in the right way? Do you think positive thoughts? So that wealthiness is really important as you go on. And if you start in something, a project, for example, there's people all over the internet now looking for something that they can do, and a lot of them are scared. They're scared of putting themselves out there. They're scared of thinking that they are being ridiculous. So, for example, on here, on Haps TV, although I'm here talking, I might have this little demon in my head going, "What are you doing, Sandra? Why are you putting yourself through this? No one's going to listen to you. Why do you think people are going to listen to you?" And that's just that inner critic that we've all got this inner critic. But what you need to say to your inner critic is, thank you for noticing that I'm putting myself in this awkward position with 25 people online and few people in the chat. Thank you for telling me, critic, wherever your critic is. Mine is on my right shoulder, is my inner critic. And he's my friend. He is my friend. But I also have to have a bit of a talk to him every now and have to say, look, thank you very much for telling me that people could be thinking I'm an idiot, that I'm on here almost talking to myself on a screen. But it's all right, because I can take it, because it's what I want to do. I'm using my logic. I'm using my belief in my ability. So you can help me by just being there if you need me, just to warn me if anything is. Maybe I might have a troll on here. My inner critic would go, "Oh, you've got a troll on there, Sandra. Get rid of them." You need that. You need that inner critic. So welcome your inner critic. Don't fight it. Never, ever fight anything that is to do with your mental health, especially when it's neurotic. Psychotic is a different thing. I'm not a psychologist, so I don't deal with psychotic issues like bipolar and schizophrenia and those borderline personality disorders. I deal with anxiety. I deal with stress. I don't very often deal with deep depression, because that can border on being psychotic. So I deal with generalized anxiety disorders over a number of different things: health, claustrophobia, agoraphobia, OCD sometimes, psychosexual issues around anxiety, anything like that is to do with the neuroses, then I can help you with. So I can help you with your inner critic. So if you've got an inner critic, I would say to you that the only way to build a relationship with your inner critic is to embrace it. Same with anxiety. If you embrace anxiety, it will not bother you. If you say, welcome in, thank you for doing what you're doing, thank you for giving me this support, but I don't need you right now, but thank you for being there, just in case I might have to run away from danger, just in case I might be walking down a dark road that a lot of women are doing nowadays on their own. And thank you for just warning me. never stop the anxiety, never disregard it, but embrace it. Be at one with it. It's not there to hurt you. It's not. It's there to support you, and it's there just to give you. You know, if you didn't have it, you would walk down a dark alley into danger. If you didn't think, if your anxiety didn't kick and go, oh no, don't do that, don't do that. Unfortunately, the thing with it is, well, fortunately for people with anxiety, they're very astute. Those people who don't recognize anxiety and just blasé, oh, I'm going to walk down that alley, everything's okay, I'll be fine. Now, they're the people who who are not fortunate enough to understand anxiety. We who have experienced it and know what it's about, embrace it, and we work with it. We don't work against it, and we take notice of it. Don't walk down that alley, Sandra. You might be in danger. Thank you. No, I won't. I'll go another way, or I'll get a taxi, or I'll phone someone to pick me up. And that's really important. So never, don't disregard it. You know, you are not your brain. One of the best books that I've ever read in my many years of dealing with this is an old book, and it is still a really good book that I would recommend if you want to understand your, why and how you might have been burdened with heightened anxiety. And it's called You Are Not Your Brain, the 4-Step Solution for Changing Bad Habits, Ending Unhealthy Thinking, and Taking Control of Your Life. And it's by Jeffrey M. Schwartz, MD, and Rebecca Gladding, MD. And it's an old book, but it's a good book. And if you follow if you read it and you look at the science of what is happening to you when you suffer from anxiety, it will change your life. When you understand that, because if you are suffering with heightened anxiety, that's the anxiety that takes over everything. What you've got to understand is that the science of it is to do with the cells and neurons in your brain. So Hebb's law or Hebb's theory, people have called it Hebb's theory, Hebb's law, says that cells and neurons in your brain that fire together wire together. So if you've always done the same thing when you have felt anxious or have had a panic attack, for example, if you always do the same thing, if you always overly panic and not try to end it by finding ways to end it, those pathways become hardwired. So they become how the brain recognizes it. And if it's the same all the time, the brain will allow that to happen. And then what happens is, the more you do the more you do the same, the more you're on what I call the anxiety cycle. So the more you feel the anxiety, and then you do something to maybe, I don't know, you might take a drink, for example, have a drink, and you feel the stress goes a little bit, it's a little bit less stress. The next time the anxiety comes, you've got momentarily relief from it, from taking the drink or having a cigarette or something like that. But the next time it comes round, it becomes more, it becomes heightened, it becomes stronger. Because what's happened is what they call quantum Zeno effect is the glue that glues the behavior together. So that's what's happened. So years and years and years being on the anxiety cycle or circle or merry-go-round, whatever it is, Hebb's theory, cells and neurons in the brain that fire together, wire together, quantum Zeno effect, the glue that glues the behavior, glues it all together. The stronger it gets, the more the glue sticks. So once you understand that you are not your brain, the glue will become, you can pick away at the glue and the glue will disappear and your battles with anxiety will end. So Hebb's law is neurons, cells and neurons in the brain that fire together, wire together. This means that when groups of nerve cells or regions of the brain are repeatedly activated at the same time, they basically form a circuit and are essentially locked in together. So when you understand that and you find ways to end all of these things, whatever that is, the more you will be able to end the struggles that you've struggled so long to deal with. So thank you very much. I'd said that I would only do an hour broadcast because I don't want to bore people, but thank you once again. Air 0071, thank you very much. Thank you for Odelia who has subscribed. Thank you to Anastasia Roy who has subscribed, and thank you Air 0071 who has subscribed. The more people who subscribe, the more I will be able to be recognized for my work, and the more people will engage with me and the more I can do, because there's a lot more to this. There's a lot more that I can share. There's a lot more that I can talk about. There's people I can bring on who I know who are experts in different fields, so I can engage with them and bring them onto my broadcast. So that would be really great. Thank you for the 27 people, 15 live chats and 27 people who are online. Those people who are online, I really urge you to download the HAPS TV app and join in. Come and meet some of us and come and get something out of it. Come and learn something, hopefully. Come and be helped in some way, because we all need help at some point. We all need support. We all need to be thought of that we are giving something. We can all take, but the best part is giving. But when you give, you always find that you will reap more in return, as the law of reciprocity will kick in, as has happened today. I've come on here and people have subscribed to my broadcasts. They've given me fantastic feedback. And Air 0071, I hope I answered that question about, can anxiety be positive? Absolutely, it can. Anxiety is anxiousness, feeling anxious is a natural part of the human psyche. Without it, we would not be who we are. We would not be empaths if we didn't have some sort of anxiety. We would all be narcissists. We would all be wanting to control everything and everybody. So anxiety can be positive. It's only negative when you allow it to be negative. As I say, you should embrace it like a friend. You should embrace it like just like a warm comfort blanket almost, that will, as I say, when you drop down into your reptilian brain, that part of where you are, you can find that comfort. And just think about the anxiety as just being just like something that's normal, as natural. And just don't fight it. If there is ever a battle between the amygdala, which is the seat of the anxiety, the fight, flight, and freeze, and the prefrontal cortex, the logic, the cerebellum in the brain, the anxiety, the amygdala will win every time. So this has been my broadcast on mental and physical health, which equals wealthiness. So wherever you are in the world right now, embrace your anxiety. Don't be frightened of it. And I look forward to coming and seeing you all again. Thank you for your time.